1.6 Intro to Solving Equations. This is not Intro to Solving Equations of Algebra 1. This is Intro to Solving Equations for Algebra 2. Though it is still a review of Algebra 1, it's the back end of Algebra 1, not the front end. Here are some examples. You should remember how to solve equations in which the variable is on both sides. Your ultimate goal is to have your variables on the left and your constants on the right. So in this one, 5n would stay on the left, but 3n moves over and changes signs to minus 3n. On the right you have a 2, but on the left that plus 6 goes to the right. It becomes minus 6. So 5n minus 3n is 2n. 2 minus 6 is negative 4. Divide negative 4 by 2 to get an answer of negative 2. In this one there's a slight mistake here. This should not be an m. What this is an x. X minus 1. But you should be able to solve one like this as well. And you have to simplify it before you can solve it. So on the left-hand side, distribute the 3 to each of those items in the parentheses to get 3x minus 9. The minus 5 is outside the parentheses, so do nothing with it yet. On the right side, you have a 6 outside the parentheses. But you're going to multiply each item in those parentheses by negative 4. So that would be negative 4x plus 4. Once you have distributed everything, then you can go back and begin to simplify, combining like terms. On the left, you only have 3x, but you have minus 9 minus 5. That's minus 14. And on the right, there's a minus 4x. You have 6 plus 4, which is 10. So you're right back to the form that we did in the first example. So keep your 3x and move this minus 4x to the left. Keep the 10, move the minus 14 to the right. And you come out with 7x equals 24. Divide 24 by 7, and you have 3 3/7 for an answer. Let's distribute the 2 first on the left-hand side to come up with 2x minus 12, and distribute the 4 on the right to get 4x plus 12. On the left-hand side we have a 2x, and 12 minus 12 is 0, so it just cancels out. On the right we have 4x plus 12. Move that 4x to the left, change the sign, and simplify to get a negative 2x equals 12. Divide 12 by negative 2 to get an answer of negative 6. Let's distribute on both sides to begin with, and we'll get 2x plus 10 and then plus 3x minus 6 equals 5x minus 5. On the left, 2x and 3x is 5x. 10 minus 6 is 4. On the right, it just stays the same. So keep this 5x, but move this one over with it. Change the sign. Keep the negative 5 on the right and move this 4 over. Make it minus 4. You get 0x equals negative 9. If you divide negative 9 by 0, you get an answer of undefined, or you could also put no solution. Solve for t. You should be able to solve any formula for a specific variable and not just get a numeric answer, but solve it in terms of that's what you would be solving for. So in other words, rewrite the formula. In this case, we want to solve for t. T is buried in these parentheses here. Whenever your variable is buried in the parentheses, you want to undo those parentheses if possible. So multiply through by the 3 to get 3at plus 3z. Now we can start undoing some stuff here. We want the t by itself, but we can't even concentrate on this until this gets moved away. So we're going to move it to the left and change the operation. So we have r minus 3z equals 3at. So we undid the addition by doing subtraction. And now how are we going to get rid of the 3a in order to get the t by itself? Not so, we're going to divide because it's multiplied in there. So we will divide both sides by 3a so that we're left with the t. On the right, the 3a's cancel out, and there's the t by itself, and it is equivalent to r minus 3z divided by 3a. A equals 1/2 t times the quantity 2r minus q. And in this problem, you're going to solve for q. So we'll underline that here. You're solving for q. Q is buried in those parentheses. So we're going to have to distribute the 1/2 t to get that thing out of there. So here we go. A equals, and distribute the 1/2 t to get 1/2 t times 2r, and then minus 1/2 t times q. Simplify this. What's 1/2 times 2? 1. So it just cancels out. And you're left with tr. And over here you have 1/2 tq. We need the q by itself. But before we can do anything with this term, we have to get this one away from it. So a minus tr equals a negative 1/2 tq. Now we can divide. Divide both sides by what? Negative 1/2 t. And those cancel out on the right. But on the left, we can't leave a fraction in a denominator. That's not going to happen. Whenever you have a fraction in a denominator, you can flip it and then multiply. If I flip a negative 1/2, I end up with a negative 2. So whatever's on the bottom of this fraction ends up on the top here. So you can make it negative 2 times the quantity a minus tr. And on the bottom, you just have a t. And all of this is equivalent to q. To solve for h, we need to get it out of the parentheses. So we will do y equals 3/4 wx minus 3/4 wh. We need the h by itself, so let's move this term to the left. Y minus 3/4 wx equals a negative 3/4 wh. Whoops, not x, it's h. There we go. We need to get h by itself, so we can divide both sides by a negative 3/4 w. When we do that, it cancels on this side, leaving us with h. On the left-hand side, we have y minus 3/4 wx over negative 3/4 w. Remember, you cannot cancel this and this because it does not appear in this term as well. But you can't leave a fraction in the denominator. So what we can do is we can flip this fraction, putting the bottom number and the sign in the numerator of the larger fraction. So we come up with a negative 4 times the quantity y minus 3/4 wx, all of that over 3. There should still be a w here on the bottom. I just left that one out by mistake.